What is going on YouTube? This is Rai-Oh coming at you with a ban list video. Basically, this is just a discussion about the confirmation of the ban list, cards that have come off, cards that have come on, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. I didn't get involved in the speculation for the ban list because I feel that it's just kind of a wasted effort and wasted breath, really, to say what I think is going to be banned, what I think should be banned, all this malarkey, because at the end of the day, Konami doesn't care. They just do what they want, and it's because Konami says so, really. So, yeah, this is the March 1st, 2013 official ban list that will be basically in effect in about 5-6 days, the 1st of March, which is this coming Friday. So yeah, I'm going to go over the cards that were banned, give the changes on the ban list, and give my personal reasons as to if it was good, if it wasn't, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, we'll go down and we'll start with the ban cards, and we have our first ban card, which is Sangan. Now, Sangan was kind of expected by a lot of people. Sangan was basically put in any deck, and it could search any main cards of the deck. It was basically just, you set Sangan, and because obviously it was used with Tour Guide so much, first turn people would go Tour Guide Sangan and just end. So they know that unless you're going to banish that Sangan, you're going to get that card that you need, and you're probably going to go nuts. And it just wasn't fair. It was just really an unfair advantage for people who weren't using decks that didn't have Sangan because they couldn't use it, for example. So where they're trying to search for those cards, Sangan could just be anything in Rabbit, wind-ups, bloody everything. And it was just an unfair card. And the other thing was, everyone ran it. Konami seemed to get in their heads that if everyone runs it for a long time, then they're going to get rid of it because they need to cycle through cards. Let's face it, Konami is still a business, and they need to make money. So, yeah, it's Sangan I kind of expected, and I'm not really too bothered about it. Then moving down to our first XYZ ban, which is Wind-Up Carrier Zenmighty. This one I didn't expect. I didn't expect Carrier to be banned, to be honest. I can kind of see why they've done it, because they're kind of, hurting wind-ups quite a lot. And with Zenmighty, you can't do the stupid plays. You can't go into the rat or whatever you want. So I can kind of understand why that's gone. I thought they could have left it at 1, to be honest, and hit other things. But, what do I know? So I'm not sad to see it go. Put it that way. I'm not sad to see that card go to 0. It's just a bit healthier, I suppose, for the game, because wind-ups are kind of moving aside now. So yeah, those are the 2 ban cards. We can kind of move off from them. Going on to the limited cards. The first limited card is Wind-Up Magician. Now, this card I knew was going to get hit. Obviously, everyone knew it was going to get hit because it's nuts. It was just unfair advantage. With Shark, it was a Magician Shark, just first turn OTK. It was unfair. It's just unbalanced, and it was unhealthy for the game. And I'm glad that it's been hurt quite a lot. There are still wind-up OTKs, kind of just using Invoker, but they're a lot easier to stop. So I'm not too bothered about that. Wind-ups are probably going to jump back to a tier 1.5, possibly 2, depends. But I don't think they're going to have that same explosive attack now, obviously. So not much to say about a Wind-Up Magician there, to be honest. Quite happy it's gone. It was an unfair card. Bish bosh. Okay, so another one is one of the new cards to be limited is One Day of Peace. Now, you might be thinking, One Day of Peace, why? Why was One Day of Peace banned? Because it's an unbalanced, unfair card. Not only was it involved in the Gishki FDK, where you make your opponent basically deck out, it's just such a badly designed card. Both players draw 1 card, and then you don't take any damage until the end of your opponent's phase. That's just not fair. That you play that, and you're like, I don't care if you're drawing. You don't care if they draw a card. You do not care if they draw a card, because it's like, well, what are you really going to do? Because you can't do anything to me. So it basically gives you a free turn. It's a +1, basically, because you're just like, draw. And then like, okay, next turn, draw for my draw. It's just a very unfair card. And I think it was wise that that card went. And yeah, not much to say about it after that, because it's kind of just, yeah, as I said, Konami just get into the head every so often. They'll come out with this really badly designed card that is so broke, and then make it a common. When I saw that come out in common, I went nuts. I was like, okay, what decks can I put this in straight away, because it's unfair. It might sound like a bitchy thing to do, but I don't really care, to be honest, because you've got to abuse it, so why not? One card that was semi-limited, now is limited, is Solemn Warning. I don't think many people, if any at all, expected Solemn Warning to go to 1. A lot of people are saying that it's kind of making way for a new Solemn card. Judgment went to 1, and then Solemn Warning came out, and then Solemn Warning's gone to 1. Maybe another Judgment card, a Solemn card will come out. To be honest, I don't really care. The thing that the hit that this does for the next format is going to basically be like the first. If you're playing Warning still, the first person to play Warning has a massive advantage, because you can now save that Warning for. It's going to require a lot more skill to play Warning, I think, because you've only got 1. You need to hit the main card that they're playing, so you can't just. If they go like Sangan, sorry, not Sangan, if they go like Tour Guide, you can't just be like, oh, well, just Solemn Warning. Because you need to think, okay, what are they going to go into? They're probably going to go into like a Zen Mains. Okay, fine. You need to save it, in my opinion, you need to save it for the big boss monsters just to stop them, because you've only got 1, then you've got other back row that might not help. Solemn Warning is your kind of like one stop. So I think it's also going to make people not fear summoning anymore. I think more OTKs are going to be around. I think you'll probably see Heretics pop up more. Just things like that. Just because with Solemn Warning to 1, it's if they hit if you playing Heretics, for example, you hit Solemn Warning, you're like, okay, that's fine. Next time I go off, I know I'm alright. Because they have the Lancers, they have My Body's a Shield, they have whatever. Just Solemn Warning, just wrecks, and now it's gone to 1. I don't know what that's going to do for the game state. I don't know what it's going to do for the players' attitude to summoning, because they'll probably just be like, oh, it happens now. And I think it needs to be calculated risks, but I just think people are just going to summon it for the fuck of it. And yeah, so it's not. I'm kind of on the edge about that. I prefer it at 2 still. But you know what can you do? So yeah, that's all of the limited cards. So just to go over, that was we have a Wind Up Magician, 1 day piece, and Solemn Warning to 1. Going on to the semi-limited cards, we have a very odd one, Thunder King Rai-Oh. Now, I don't like this hit. I think it's a waste of a hit, but I'm pretty sure I know why Konami have done it. Thunder King Rai-Oh is bad for the cards that they want to bring out. Thunder King Rai-Oh, you go first turn Thunder King Rai-Oh against so many of these new decks, they are buggered. Prophecies, Murmurs, Prophecies, Murmurs, Fire Fist, they're just screwed by first turn Tour Guide. First turn Thunder King. And if you can protect that Thunder King, they can do nothing. Case point example is against Prophecies. I play Prophecies, my mate plays Prophecies, but I test against him with just random decks that I have, and I think like Thunder King Rai is one of the best level 4 monsters in the game. Definitely at the moment, because it's just so good. It's not only a 1/9 beta, but it just stops your opponent doing things. Prophecies, you're like, okay, so I'm pretty sure that a good 3/4 of your deck is dead, because you can't really do much, because you need the secrets to go into the master, and the master to go into other things, and you're recycling. But you can't do any of that with the Thunder King there. So the only thing they can really do is Summon Breaker and power, and then they can go off. But it's a little bit more difficult than that. So that's why I think they've hit Thunder King to save their pockets, I think. And it's an unfair hit, but as you say, because Konami say so, they're going to do it. So it's a bit unfair. To 2, Tsukuyomi. Not really bothered. Tsukuyomi did nothing in last format, where it got off the ban list, brought to 1. It's going to go to 2. It's probably going to go to 3 on the next list, I think, because it just does nothing. And then one card that I am so happy that's come back off 1 is Advanced Ritual Art. Yes, the rituals have been given a lifeline. So Advanced Ritual Art to 2. What does this do? This brings back Herald of Perfection. I don't care what you say. I think this brings back Herald agents, perfect agents. Basically, that's Herald of Perfection in an agent build, and that's my deck next format. I've already tested it. It's going really well, and it's just stupid. But Advanced Ritual Art gives a nice boost for people who want to play rituals. Rituals have always kind of been a little bit of a joke after the hype went around, because you are just minusing yourself crazy amount. Advanced Ritual Art helps because it goes from the deck instead of the hands or the field. Advanced Ritual Art, you know, it's nice that it's come back to 2. I don't think it will ever move from 2, because otherwise stuff will just be busted again. Like Herald will be a top deck, like top deck. So I think it's nice it's gone to 2. It's given them a little bit of a lifeline, and it makes things a little bit more interesting next format. So I like that. I like that came back. I did not expect that at all, but I'm well happy it did, and I'm well on those decks. So yeah, lovely that's come back. And then going on to the unlimited cards. So basically we got Blackwinged, Kalut, Lumina, Spore, Shien, Smoke Signal, and Mind Crush. Blackwinged, Kalut gives Blackwings a nice little bit of a hit. Konami is slowly bringing back Blackwing stuff, and they've released 2 new Blackwing cards in their most recent set. I'm pretty sure there's a synchro coming out at some point somewhere, it was rumoured. So it's given them a nice little boost. Whereas if they're competitive, I'm not sure. One of the guys at my locals loves Blackwings. He's won a couple of side events and such with them in like YCSs, and he's done a very interesting build of it. So I think Blackwings get a nice little boost from Kalut. Definitely. So you know, it's that'll be interesting to see what that does to Blackwings now that helps them. So I'm fine with that. I don't really mind too much. Lumina, Lightsworn, Summoner. Lumina's gone back to 3. Now, I was talking about this to my mate, and we were like, okay, so what's actually gone from the Lightsworn decks that, you know, that was not there in their prime? And it's basically Charge and Honest. You had 3 Charge and 3 Honest. Obviously they're at 1 now, but you have 3 JDs, 3 Luminas. It's just, I think this deck, with you know, if people tech in the light rays, I think that's going to make for some interesting opponents, because you can just splash JD so easily in these decks. Obviously that is the point. JD's your big boss monster, but with Lumina to 3, I think that gives Lightsworns a nice boost. I think Konami are obviously bringing back the Lightsworns and the Blackwings slowly but surely, and I think this kind of proves that they're testing the waters to see how it's done. Last format did nothing. Lumina to 2 did nothing. Lumina to 3, I think, is going to bring back some of maybe the older players who played Lightsworns possibly, or it'll, you know, because the Lightsworn cards are so easy to get. They're basically all common now. You know, you got common JDs. The only hard things to get are the solar recharges, really, because it's either super, ultra, or ultimate. I think they are. So, you know, that's very interesting. I'll be interested to see what happens with Lightsworns. Maybe Lightsworn plants. You never know. And going on to plants, Spore was limited. Now it's gone straight to 3. I think this is fair enough. I didn't think Spore should have been hit in the first place when they banned two formats ago. I don't think Spore was the problem, and they just raped plants. I think it was Trishula got banned, Trap Dust Shoot, Glow Bulb and Spore got banned, and I was just like, what? They absolutely raped plants, and I haven't forgiven them for that, because I was playing plants then, and I loved that deck so much, and they just raped it. And Spore going to 3 doesn't really make much of a difference, because let's not forget it's still a once per duel effect. Yes, it's level 1 tuner, but I don't think it's really going to do that much, to be honest. So yeah, Spore to 3 doesn't make any difference to me. Shien Smoke Signal going to 3 from 2. I'm not sure what to make of this, to be honest. I don't like the idea of samurais being given more consistency. You might argue that Shien Smoke Signal doesn't really, only gets level 3 or lower, but I don't like the idea of that. Sams are still a skeleton of what they were, but they can still OTK very easily, and they can lock you down so easily. I'm not sure why they brought, Shien Smoke Signal back, but moved Thunder King Rai-Oh to 2, because if Sams go first turn Beast, you're just like, well, these decks that you want to play with, you're trying to sell off, like Prophecies, and not so much Murmurs, but all these decks that you want. I just don't understand some of their logic sometimes, because although it doesn't do the same thing, it's the same essence, it's the same idea, and it's the same effect that you're gonna do. So I just don't really understand why they've done that, to be honest. But whatever. And then Mind Crush to 3. Fine. Cool, that's fine. I side 2 Mind Crushes anyway in my side decks, because Mind Crush is amazing. You play it right, it's amazing. And I think they might have just given them some players a nice little boost to combat against these decks that they are trying to push. Your Murmurs and your Prophecies and your Fire Kings, because all these, show in the hand. Prophecies, you basically know what they've got in their hand all the time because they're searching for it. Murmurs, big ones are like Megalo. Megalo has to reveal itself first. It's the same as Shark. And also a good one is when they play Allure of Darkness, chain with Mind Crush and call sorry, tongue twisted there. Genetics Controller. Because then they're like, oh, okay. The amount of times I've done that, people have discarded their whole hand because they already have a controller in hand, but they haven't drawn into it, obviously, because there's only two more in the deck, if not less. It's just brilliant. So it's playing the card right that I like about this card. You can't just play it at the first instance. You need to know that it's going to disrupt them so much that they can't do anything. So that card I like at 3. The only thing that's slightly scary is that Dark World now have 3 of those as well. For some people who might play Dark World, who might main Mind Crush. If they don't main Mind Crush, then fair enough. But they might side it. But just because they can see your hand so easily, and then you've got 3 Mind Crushes that they can hit. So it's just Dark World get maybe what's the word? A boost that they didn't expect, a boost that people don't expect, maybe. Mind Crush was one of the cards that was confirmed last, because no one really saw it, and then everyone was like, hold on, there's a bit of extra text here, what's that? So that was the last one. But I realise this video has been going on for nearly 20 minutes. But overall, I think this ban list hasn't done anything, in all honesty. It's not done anything like the last format or the format before, where it kind of, it hit quite a lot of things that changed the game. This has not changed the game at all, I don't think. I still think people could play wind-ups, and they still could, do well with them. Wind-ups just won't die by the looks of it. The amount of FTKs and OTKs and shot clocks they can still do is quite annoying. Yes, they have lost their consistency. I do think, and I don't think they'll be a top tier deck anymore, because they'll just be outshadowed by the decks coming up now. But I just don't think this list has really done anything to the format, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I like every format. I like change. I would like them to address some cards that should really be hit. It's like Mind Control and Pot of Avarice are just those cards are so unfair, it is untrue. It rewards like bad playing. Pot of Avarice, you can overextend and you don't get punished because you have a Pot of Avarice. You put 5 of your main monsters back and then you draw 2. It's just so unfair. If it was put them back into the deck and then nothing, maybe draw 1, you'd be like, oh, okay, you've kind of evened yourself out, but draw 2 is just nuts. And Mind Control is just very unfair. I've always said that. I just don't like the card. It's crazy unbalanced, and I think it's been forgotten about by Konami, and they just don't want to look at it. Yeah, so it's just yeah, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's basically my opinion on the coming March ban list. I'm certainly going to play under it, as I said. I'm going to be playing my Perfect Agents. They're testing very well currently. A lot of rage quits. I know you might think I'm scummy for playing it, but I missed the format in which they were being played, and I'm sorely sad for that, so it'd be quite nice to play them. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I know this has been a bit longer than normal, but I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the March ban list. What hits do you like, what do you don't, and what do you think should be on there, and yeah, predictions for the next format. Cheers, guys. See you later.